This is a remote learning initiative by Thakur Vidya Mandir Global School affiliated to the New Delhi CBSE board located in Uttar Pradesh, India. CBSE Science Standard 6 Air Around Us. Chapter 15 Air Around Us. The main points to be covered are as follows. Where is air found? What is air made up of? How does oxygen become available to animals and plants living in water and soil? How is the oxygen in the atmosphere replaced? What is a windmill and the uses of air? Where is air found? Let's do it ourselves and find out. All we need is a bucket full of water and an empty, dry bottle. Dip the open mouth of an empty dry bottle into the bucket of water. Observe the bottle. Does the water enter the bottle? It doesn't. Now, tilt the bottle slightly. Does the water enter the bottle now? Of course it does. Do you see bubbles coming out of the bottle or hear any bubbly sound? Can you guess what was in the bottle? Yup, you're right. It is air that was present in the bottle. The bottle was not empty at all. This activity shows us that air is found everywhere and it occupies some space even though we cannot see it. Air has no color and one can see through it as it is transparent. A complete absence of air creates a vacuum. What is air made up of? Air is a mixture of many gases such as oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide and other gases. Air also contains water vapor, dust and smoke. Let's learn more about the components of air. The first component that we'll go through is oxygen. We know that oxygen is necessary for breathing and it supports burning. Let's do an experiment in the presence of an adult. Take two candles and place them on a table. Light them up and cover one of the candles with an empty glass tumbler. Observe both the candles carefully. Did both of the candles continue to burn or did they go off? You must have observed that one of the candles continued burning while the other went off after a while. What is the reason that the other one went off? Think about it. The candle got extinguished because the component inside the glass tumbler which supports burning is limited. Most of the component was used up by the burning candle. The other candle continues burning because it has continuous supply of air. The component of air which supports burning is known as oxygen. Through this DIY, we understood that the extinguished candle proves that oxygen inside the glass was used up and, in absence of oxygen, the fire extinguished. The next component of air is nitrogen. Now nitrogen constitutes the major part of air. In the previous DIY that we did, the candle that extinguished stopped burning because oxygen was used up, but air was still present inside the glass. tumbler. This proves that oxygen is a component which supports burning, but once it's used up, there is something still in air which does not support burning. This major part of air which does not support burning is called as nitrogen. Let's move on to carbon dioxide. We know Joseph Priestley discovered oxygen in 1774. He did this through an experiment. He conducted an experiment in two parts. Firstly, he lit a candle, kept a rat beside the candle and covered them both with a glass tumbler. After a while, the oxygen was used up by the burning candle and the candle blew off. Due to lack of oxygen, the rat started suffocating and later on it died due to suffocation. In the second part of the experiment, he kept a mint plant, also known as pudina, along with the rat and lit another candle, and he covered all three of them with a glass tumbler. This time the candle kept burning. He concluded that the plant somehow converted the components of air into oxygen which supports burning, and hence the candle kept on burning and the rat did not die due to the continuous supply of oxygen. This proved three things. First, oxygen supports burning. Second, plants and animals require oxygen and carbon dioxide. Third, plants can create oxygen by converting carbon dioxide into oxygen. When plants and animal matter are burnt, they consume oxygen and mainly produce carbon dioxide and other gases. Hence, it is not advisable to burn dry leaves and discarded remains of crops as they pollute our surroundings and create a lot of carbon dioxide. The next component of air that we will tackle is water vapor. We all know that water vapor is present in the air. Water vapor is essential for water cycle. How can we test and prove that water vapor is present in the air? It's pretty simple. Take a dry glass and pour in some cold water inside the glass. Observe it for a while. What did you see? There should be some small droplets of water that will form on the outer surface of the glass. What is the reason for this? Think about it for a minute. When the air around the glass comes in contact with the cool surface, the water vapor in the air starts condensing and small drops of water appear on the outer surface of the glass. And that is how you can prove that there is water vapor present in the air. The final components of air are smoke and dust. Burning of any material or fuel produces smoke. Smoke contains a few gases and fine dust particles, which is often harmful for us as it causes a lot of difficulty for breathing. Hence, factories often have long chimneys which take away the harmful smoke and leave them high up in the sky away from our noses. But then the harmful smoke is brought closer to the birds flying up in the sky. During a fire accident, why is one advised to wrap a woolen blanket over a burning object? It's so that the oxygen supply is cut off and the fire goes off, plus to prevent the person who is covering the fire from inhaling the smoke. We know that dust particles are always present in the air. How can you prove it? Time for some DIY. All you have to do is make sure that you have a room which is dark and just open a window or a door slightly to let in a sun ray inside. Now once the light reaches inside the room, you can see that the incoming beam of light will have some tiny shining particles that are moving around. What are these particles? They are dust particles. During winter, you must have observed a similar beam of light around the trees. This shows that the air around us contains dust particles. Now think about it. Why do the traffic police wear a mask around the vehicles? It's basically to prevent dust particles from entering their respiratory system and to prevent the smoke that is emitted from the vehicles from entering their respiratory system, which causes breathing disorders and respiratory disorders. How does oxygen become available to plants and animals living in water? Time for some DIY with adult supervision. Ask an adult to give you a metal container or a glass container. Pour some water in it, then pass it to an adult. Request them to heat it slowly on the gas stove or on a tripod stand. Well before the water begins to boil, look carefully at the inner surface of the container. You will see some tiny bubbles forming on the inside of the container. These bubbles come from the air that's dissolved in the water. Once you heat the water, to begin with, the air dissolved in it starts to escape. When you continue heating, the water itself turns into vapor and finally begins to boil. This helps us prove that animals living in water use the dissolved oxygen that is already present in the water. Put your thinking caps on and think about it. Will the tiny air bubbles that were seen before the water actually boiled also appear if we do this activity by reheating boiled water that was kept in an airtight bottle? Think about it. And if you can, in the presence of an adult, you can carry out this experiment and check for yourself. Let's perform a simple activity to prove that oxygen is present in soil. Take a lump of dry soil in a glass or a beaker, whichever is available. Add water to it and observe and note down what happens. You will see bubbles coming out from the soil. These bubbles indicate presence of air in the soil. Why did the bubbles come out? When you poured water in the lump of soil, the water displaced the air which we could see coming out in the form of bubbles. Now we know that organisms that live inside the soil and the plant roots depend on this oxygen that is present in the soil. A lot of burrows and holes are formed in deep soil by the animals living in the soil. These burrows also make spaces available for air to move in and out of soil. List down about 7 animals or insects that you know that make burrows in the soil. Have you noticed earthworms tend to come out usually only during heavy rains? Why does this happen? It's pretty simple. During heavy rains, water seeps in the soil and fills up all the spaces that was occupied by the air in the soil. The air comes up. Now the animals living in the soil have to come out for respiration. Hence, earthworms come out during heavy rains. How is oxygen in the atmosphere replaced? The answer is pretty simple. Let's trace back to Joseph Priestley's experiment. We know that plants consume oxygen for respiration, but they also produce much more of it than they can consume. That is why we usually say plants produce oxygen. Now it's obvious that animals cannot live without plants as plants are the source of oxygen. The balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is maintained through the respiration in both plants and animals and by the process of photosynthesis that takes place in plants. This shows us the interdependence between plants and animals. It also helps us appreciate how important air is for life on Earth. A windmill is a simple contraption like a fan. It has around 3 to 4 blades that rotate with the wind. When the wind makes the blades rotate, the turbines inside the windmill rotate and generate electricity, or they are used to draw water from tube wells or to run floor mills. To answer the question why air is important, you need to state the uses or advantages of air. Birds, bats and insects can fly due to the presence of air. Air also helps in the dispersal of seeds and pollen of flowers of several plants. Air plays an important role in water cycle. Air also helps in the movements of sailing yachts, gliders, parachutes and aeroplanes. In conclusion, air is pretty important for life on Earth. Plants and animals depend upon air for respiration. Summary: air is found everywhere. We cannot see air, but we can feel it. Air in motion is called wind. Air occupies space. Air is a mixture of nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water vapor, and a few other gases. Some dust particles may also be present in it. Air is present in water and soil. Oxygen supports burning and is necessary for living organisms. The envelope of air that surrounds the earth is known as atmosphere. Atmosphere is essential for life on earth. Aquatic animals use dissolved air in water for respiration. Plants and animals depend on each other for exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide from air. Do you recall being scolded by your parents when you breathe through your mouth? If you do that, dust particles may enter your body. Hence, your parents discourage it. Dictation words: transparent, atmosphere, components, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, water vapor, mixture, dissolved, windmill, photosynthesis, displaces, conclude, respiration, suffocation, particle. Pause the video, recollect all the things that we have discussed and answer the following questions. Note down the questions and write down the answers in a notebook. Then check the DIY activities that you can do at home. Make a wind vane, make a bottle aeroplane or a helicopter. On a clear glass window facing towards an open area, fix a small rectangular strip of paper. Remove the strip after a few days, maybe 4 or 5 days. Do you notice a difference between the rectangular section that was left covered with paper and the rest of the glass window? Note it down. By repeating this exercise every month, you will have an idea about the amount of dust present in air around you at different times of the year.